Hey, what's going on, guys? It's CalTV here, and as you guys must know, the CSGO Major Championship is coming up in January. It's going to be in Boston this year, first major of 2018, obviously, and it's going to be beginning in about 1 month. And just today, the Valve released the stickers and the Pickems challenge for the major, and that's what I'm going to be doing in the video: the Pickems challenge, stage one, which is the prelims, and I'm going to be predicting what teams, will do all this stuff. So without further ado, let's get right into that. So yeah, guys, as you can see right here, here are all my predictions. We have FaZe Clan for 3-0, Quantum for 0-3, and Cloud9, G2, Navi, Mouse, Space Soldiers, Envious, and Renegades. And for these 7 teams down here, I actually have them in order of my confidence that they will go through. So Cloud9, I am the most confident they will definitely go through. And Renegades, I think they will go through, but I am a little bit less confident than all of the rest of the teams. So if you just want to take my word for it and just pick these, go ahead. They're on your screen right now. You can pick some of them. You can pick all of them. But I will be giving a pretty solid explanation to why I picked each of these teams. So yeah, guys, for my first pick, 3-0, I have FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan, I believe they will go undefeated. They will win 3 matches and they will lose 0. And before I go on, guys, I just want to clarify that I am doing, for the most part, safe picks, which safe picks means that I am going off of my knowledge, facts that I have seen before, and I'm not going off of what ifs and what if this team upsets FaZe. I don't think they could do it. Something could happen. I think that FaZe is definitely the most solid team that could be possibly put in the 3-0 spot. And obviously, there are 2 teams that will advance, but FaZe Clan, I think, is the most definite of the 2. And that leads on to the reasoning, and the reasoning I picked FaZe is because I do believe they are the strongest team in the prelims stage. They're stronger than Cloud9, G2, Navi, Mouse, Space Soldiers, Envious, Renegades, Quantum, and all the other teams in the stage. And yeah, I do believe they'll go 3-0 because they could beat everybody in the thing ever since their roster changed since the last major. They've won so many tier 1 events. They've been number 1 on HLTV and all that. It's pretty simple to say, but yeah, they're just the best and they'll go 3-0. Next, guys, we have 0-3, which means that they will basically win nothing. They're just gonna get knocked out, which is, I guess, fine for a team like Quantum. Because honestly, I have no idea who Quantum are, and they are super lucky to even get into this damn major. Sorry if you're a fan of the CIS scene. I do know that Quantum is from the CIS scene. Um, but other than that, I really do not know who they are, what the players are, how good they are. They're pretty sure they're just a pretty bad team that got a lucky CIS spot in the qualifiers, in the minors, I mean, because there were uh, 2 spots from the CIS region. The other spot was a Vanguard, and yeah, it was basically between a Vanguard and Quantum. And the reason I picked Quantum and not a Vanguard is because a Vanguard is actually a bit higher on the rankings of HLTV. Yeah, I do not have that much knowledge about these teams, so I literally went on HLTV. I saw that Quantum was like ranked 55 or something, and a Vanguard was ranked 30 something. So obviously that means Quantum's the worst team according to HLTV, and I just picked them for the 0-3 spot. This should be a pretty solid pick for the most part, but if you don't, if you think maybe not, then a Vanguard would be the other pick. Maybe Tyloo, maybe Sprout, and yeah. So now we're going to go into the remaining 7 teams that I believe will advance out of the prelims to the group stage. Number 1, we have Cloud9. Again, I mentioned this before, but these teams do go by confidence. Cloud9 I am the most confident that they will make it through. And that is because that, well, ever since the last major, they had a roster change and they just been looking stronger and stronger by the day. They're pretty consistent for the most part, unlike some of the other teams in here. They've won tons of NA events, tons of smaller events, and they've gotten really close in like big tier 1 events for the most part. So I do believe that they can beat some lower teams and get through the prelims to at least the group stage. Next up, guys, I have G2 Esports, and I like G2, and most of the time, I'm not gonna lie, I would have them above Cloud9 in the confidence scale, let's call that. But this time I can't lie to myself. G2, they're pretty inconsistent, and the games before this major, they haven't been looking that strong. And I'm talking mostly about the um, Blast Pro Series tournament at Copenhagen, but it maybe they've changed because there's a solid 2 months that they have to prepare for this major. So I do definitely believe that they will make it out of this prelim stage with some of the best players in the world. And yeah, that's why I have my number two here. So yeah, guys, number three, I have Navi, and right here is when it starts to get a little bit shaky, and like teams could do this and do that. But Navi, I do believe, although they have not have that much time to prove themselves, I will admit that I do believe they'll get out of this prelim stage because they have Simple, one of the best players in the world in electronic, new up and coming talent, one of the best players in the CIS region. His last team was Flipside before this recent roster change, and Electronic was basically carrying Flipside in all of their matches. And now he's on Navi with Simple. They can make a great duo, and with Zeus, also a great IGL. They could just go on and go really far in this major. So I will start off with the prelims and say that they will go very far and get out of the prelims. So yeah, next we have mouse sports, and not gonna lie, before ECS, I probably would have put mouse sports somewhere in the bottom of my so-called confidence scale. But actually, the recent showing in ECS made me change my mind. Mouse sports has been looking super strong. Although I will admit they were also pretty inconsistent, similar to G2. Their players can be super great and powerful. And what I'm talking about is in ECS, they almost beat FaZe Clan in the finals. They got to the finals by beating some great teams, and then the finals they beat FaZe Clan the first map 16-14, so it was a super close game. And then the next two maps, I don't remember the scores, but I do remember they went to overtime. Super fucking close. It was great, tight finals, and if you didn't watch it, then I have to say that you missed something. But anyways, my point is that Mouse Sports is looking super strong, and I do believe that with a little bit more practice before the major, they can carry that power and definitely get to the prelims and maybe even go farther. All right, next is where could get super shaky, but I have Space Soldiers, and this is kind of where I go against my own word. I don't have that much solid proof that Space Soldiers, Envious, and Renegades are gonna make it into the major. Not I say major, but I mean like group stage, and but basically like I'm thinking that Space Soldiers, they're a pretty great team. They don't have that much to they haven't like proved themselves really on LAN, but there's players that are really solid. They have Zentars and Paz and Calyx and Major and stuff. And I do definitely believe that their fragging capabilities will take them and they will get out of the prelim stage. Yeah, next I have Team Envious. Similar thing with Space Soldiers. Envious are also really inconsistent, but their skill ceiling is also super high because they have players like Scream who can be honestly insane, but can also miss all his shots. Sometimes also he has Envious has RPK, who's one of the best French players, honestly. Other than the people on G2, they have Sixer, they have XMS, and if they're good and if they show up, then they will show up, and I do believe they have a pretty good chance of getting the prelims. Again, I'm kind of going against my own word by saying like maybe this and maybe that, but that's basically what I'm going off after this point. And finally, I have Renegades, and honestly, this last spot, I had to kind of duel with myself between three teams, and in the end, I picked Renegades just kind of off of hope. And the teams I was kind of going in between were Liquid, Renegades, and Misfits. And the reason I immediately cut Liquid out of this is because that they're actually not playing with the full roster. Instead of Steel, they're playing with Zeus, and Zeus is their coach. And obviously, coaches, they're not exactly tier 1 pro players. So I do not believe, unfortunately, even though I like Liquid a lot, I do not believe they'll be going through the prelim stage just because they have a stand-in. And the next would be Misfits. Misfits is a pretty good team. They have a great IGL, Sean Garris, who's been helping them get up there, honestly, because Sean Garris is just a great guy and a great IGL. And as much as I like him and his team, in the end, I just picked Renegades as a sign of hope because I think that, in my opinion, Misfits and Renegades are pretty even, actually. So I just kind of flipped a coin and picked Renegades and hoped that they could go through. So yeah, guys, these are my predictions and why I picked each and every one of the teams. But if you do have disagreements, please make sure to let me know in the comments, and I will read all the comments and I will consider your comments, honestly. So if anything happens, like maybe they allow Steel to play for Liquid, I'll definitely be adding Liquid in. But that's just an example. Like if anything like that happens, I'll definitely be making a change, and I will tell you guys in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. And again, if you have any other comments, obviously leave a comment. I'll see you guys next time.